Hi guys, Philip Good here with another video for you. I'm a relationship coach, been married to my beautiful wife for 48 wonderful years. Okay, the title of today's video is How an Emotional Affair Affects a Long-Term Relationships, 11 Steps to Reconnect with Your Partner. My wife and I always say that the number one in any relationship, in our relationship, is unconditional love. The second most important thing, and my wife always brings this up in every conversation over any issues. Trust is right up there with unconditional love. Trust. And what does trust mean? Trust means, the T in trust means two together, husband and wife, both partners. The R means respect. Respect, care, empathy. The U means understand. And the key to understanding is having vulnerable, heart to heart, deep discussions with each other. Preferably before you get married. But if you're having issues and you can, during your marriage, if you're married 5 years, 7 years plus, 10 years, it doesn't matter. Have another get together, guys, and have another deep, vulnerable discussion, heart to heart discussion. Go to a beach, get a blanket, lie down, and open your hearts to each other. All your feelings, any issues that you may not have brought up, bring them all up. Let your partner know how you're feeling. Both you do the same. And by doing that, you may avoid any sort of physical or emotional affair outside your precious relationship. So, a breach of trust, an emotional affair. To my wife Eileen and I, an emotional affair really is no different than a physical affair, right? Because what it does is it breaks the trust in your relationship. If you've been married 7 years or 10 years or 48 years, like us, like Eileen and I, trust is everything. You don't divulge anything about your relationship to any third party, meaning you don't talk to your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, other than your spouse should be your best friend, hand on heart. Key to our success is being, over 48 years in our marriage, is being best friends. Absolutely number one. And then from there, being best friends, you can build team and so on. And you talk about anything and everything. But an emotional affair is a sign that, because guess what? Relationships with your spouse is all about feelings and emotions, right? And who should you want to talk to your spouse about? The way you're feeling, if you had a bad day at work, the way you're feeling on inside, let go. Talk to your spouse about it. Talk to each other about it. Sit down. Make time to share your feelings. So when you breach that trust with an emotional affair, it's a deep, deep betrayal. It's no different than like I said before, like in a physical affair. Once it's done, it's very hard to undo. Very, very hard to rebuild that trust again. It's not impossible, but it's incredibly, incredibly difficult, and it takes a long, long time. And saying words, like "I care for you" or whatever. Once you've breached trust, actions speak louder than words. So it's actions over time that is going to address some of the harm, a lot of the harm that you've done, the betraying partner has done to their spouse. So you've got to come clean. You've got to be open and honest with your conversations, and admit where you went wrong, and try and delve into, open your heart to your wife and sort of say how you're feeling and what led to it, because that's going to be a key to solving the issue that led to it in the first place. But as a result of an emotional affair, quite often your relationship can become emotionally distant. The affected partner can pull away, feel withdrawn, because that partner feels totally betrayed, right? totally betrayed, totally let down. Because emotional closeness is built through consistent actions, meaningful connections over the years, and deep, deep conversations. At some stage, if your relationship has suffered an emotional affair, it means your connection has with each other, with your partner, has dropped. You've got into some bad habit of talking to somebody else about the way you are feeling, or even worse, if you're talking to a third party about your relationship or any issues within that relationship. Because your relationship, at its core, should be a sanctuary, a sacred place where you share your innermost feelings with your partner in confidence, not to be shared with anybody else. That's why an emotional affair is so hard. It's so difficult when the betrayed partner, when you're trying to get back to what you had before, trying to rebuild that trust, that connection, that togetherness. It makes it so, so hard because the affected partner is so, so hurt that the betraying partner had to go outside, away from the partner, the spouse, go outside the relationship, talk to somebody. When why couldn't you have just talked to your partner? If you built a great connection, then your partner would definitely have listened. Why not do that first? Why go outside your marriage? But anyway, what we're saying here is it's happened. So how are we going to heal it, right? So over time, resentment begins to build. It may lead to passive aggressive behaviors or total emotional shutdown because the offended partner might go cold, and of course in that partner's mind is, I can never trust my partner again. What if he or she does this again? Most likely, if they've done it once, it'll happen again, right? And how does the offending partner give confidence to your spouse who's feeling so hurt and let down? So you've got to, you know, you've got to acknowledge, you've got to apologize to your partner, to say that how sorry you were about letting your partner down, breaching that confidence that you built up. And you're going to spend your whole lifetime earning that trust. And it might take exactly that. It might take years to get back that trust, that level of togetherness, that connection you had before. Because obviously the hurt partner's going to continue to say to you, you totally and completely let me down. That's why I feel so, so hurt. That you didn't have confidence to confide in me with whatever was worrying you. And one bad thing is, in my view and my wife's view, is that if you go outside your relationship to try and validate your point of view in your relationship, if you're having an issue, you're having an argument with your wife, and you want to get validated for your point of view, and you go outside to try and validate that, rather than keep your argument, your deep discussions with your partner inside your relationship. Because with respectful communication and with active listening to each other, like what my wife and I did and our family did, When one person was speaking in an important discussion, we held a wooden spoon. So that signified the person who was talking held the floor, and the other person just shut up and didn't say anything, just listened, giving full attention, was interested, listened with empathy and care, and so on. So, as we know, in an emotional affair, intimacy suffers, right? Because intimacy is both an emotional intimacy and also physical intimacy. Physical intimacy in a great sexual relationship is based on the quality of your emotional connection, the kindness, how you speak with one another, how you resolve differences without blame, without judgment, just listening with an open heart, a loving heart. Because the more you do that, the more you build your trust in your relationship, the more you build a quality connection with each other. And when you do that, things really do improve. So physical intimacy is a result of emotional security. See what an emotional affair does, like a physical affair, it causes insecurity in the relationship because the offended partner, the affected partner, doesn't know if and when it'll happen again. Because in their mind, if it's done once, it can happen again, right? So the way to build intimacy is through non-sexual touch, holding hands, hugging, building from there, sitting next to each other, sitting close, doing acts of service, helping your spouse around the house, giving impromptu gifts, saying words of affirmation like "I love you" constantly, and backing that up with your actions, spending quality time together, and building that physical touch, giving impromptu hugs, and going out of your way to show your partner that you care and you love he or her intimately, deeply. So sometimes when you're battling with trying to rebuild that trust, your conversation can feel very superficial. Like they're not. It's hard to go deep when a trust has been broken. But you've got to be vulnerable and open your heart. Like I said before, have a deep, deep conversation and get to the crux of why that emotional affair happened in the first place. Try and help your offended partner to understand the way you are feeling in an effort to try and rebuild that emotional closeness and connection that you enjoyed previously. So you got to set aside, you got to make time for deeper conversations. So talk about shared dreams, visions for the future. Yes, talk about your fears. But what are fears? Fears aren't real. They're false evidence appearing real. And try and work out some shared goals you have together, things that you can work on together. Often, the emotional fear can become a taboo topic, with guilt and fear going between one partner and another. The offended partner feels guilty for what he or she did. And that's where forgiveness forgiveness plays a big part. Forgiving your partner for transgressions. If you know in your heart the relationship it's got potential. It was good before the emotional affair, or great before the emotional affair. It can get back there again with effort, with a lot of effort from both parties. So you've got to get beyond the try and overcome the feelings of insecurity. And that's by consistent actions to rebuild that trust over time. So it's not just a case of words to reassure your partner. It's actions speak louder than words. You can say the words until you're blue in the face, but it's what actions you're taking to rebuild that confidence, to rebuild that trust. And at times, rebuilding trust may feel like an insurmountable task. It's like it's impossible. So the unfaithful partner must always be transparent with their actions, prove to be reliable, and realize it's going to take time. So you've got to be patient in your efforts to prove your commitment to your partner. So if your relationship lack excitement before the emotional affair, then build into your renewed relationship, renew passion and excitement, and discuss what things are going to renew excitement in your relationship, in your new relationship. You're not going back to the old relationship, you're building a new relationship. You're writing a new story based on security, rebuilding the trust, rebuilding the love, and rebuilding commitment, closeness, and connection with each other. You want to do it better than you did before. And always assure your partner, each other, that you've always got an open ear for each other. You're always going to listen to whatever their issues and problems are, whatever the challenges you're facing. Give assurance to each other. You're going to be there for each other, right? Because that's what happens in a great relationship. You're always there for your partner. So you never need to go outside your partner and talk to anybody else. Have confidence that your partner's going to listen without judgment, without judging you at all. They're going to listen with an open heart. That's the sort of relationship you want to build. So if you didn't have it in the first place, before the emotional affair, that's what you want to build afterwards. Because that's what's going to build a dream relationship, a great relationship, which is what you should be wanting. So obviously boundaries, you discuss your boundaries. Boundaries need to be redefined. But basically the boundaries are anything and everything happens within the relationship. You don't go outside, like I said before. You don't go talk to your auntie, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your friends, your parents about your relationship or about your partner. You don't do that. That's taboo. Whatever is taboo. What your relationship is a sanctuary. It's a sacred place. And if you can focus on that, you'll build a dream relationship. That's what Eileen and I built. That's the way we always operated. And hand on heart, guys, it does build confidence, closeness, and togetherness and trust incredibly high to a huge, great level. So the objective is to build a new foundation, create a new relationship, a better relationship with a terrific foundation of deep love, affection, appreciation, admiration, and trust. Learn from the emotional affair and build a better relationship than you had before. One that you've got absolute 100% confidence in. And by building something together, having those conversations, discussing what you want, and building that together. And that'll give you the foundation for a great relationship moving forward. So a breach, an emotional affair, doesn't have to be an end to your relationship. with effort, with honest communication, intentional effort, and a commitment to building trust, improving conversations, making conversations like chatterbox conversations, to be able to talk about anything and everything, not bottling things up, letting everything out of your chest. Don't harbor any sort of grudge, any resentment, let it go. And as a result, you can not only build a new relationship, you can build a stronger, more connected, more fulfilling relationship than you had before. That should be the dream. That was always our dream, to create a dream relationship 1,000 times better than what our parents enjoyed. And we achieved that. And even when there's a breach of trust, guys, in an emotional affair, you can still rebuild it to that dream with effort, with intention, and deep, deep, unconditional love. All the best, guys. You can do it. We've always done it, compared to basically on our parents' dysfunctional marriage. We turned that around. So you can rebuild your relationship to the relationship that you want, your dream, that have a dream relationship. You can get there. I know you can. All the best, guys. Love you. Hope you got something out of this. And all the best. I love you. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.